Hello everyone. This is a graded 1963 proof 67 quarter. And these proofs, when you look at them, get the light the right way, they kind of have a almost glassy appearance. Now this case is slightly scratched, but it's not a real valuable coin, being that it was sold for $8.50. It cost you more than that to grade them. Probably somebody graded this as a large batch of coins. A little bottle top bandit. But this 1963 quarter does look really nice. They graded it proof 67. I don't really know why they didn't go higher, but they are kind of tough on these newer coins from what I understand. By eyes, I can't see any reason why this coin wouldn't be better than a 67. I don't know. It's a really nice looking coin. Now, the other coin I have to show, I hear some rattling. That's because I got several pieces of history. As soon as I saw this, it's 1950, Benjamin Franklin. It is circulated some, but the toning on it brings out the design quite well. Again, when you have these, always remember, flatten your staples. Now, the next stuff I'm going to talk about is stuff that used to be pretty common. And I'm talking about, this is a common. They made quite a few of these. If you don't know, your mint marks are up here. Flatten your staples. But I do really like that toning. All right. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is I bought this thing of silver plated. This is Simon L. and George H. Rogers Company. X underline TRA. And that's important for these kind of things. You need to know, if you're going to buy this, you need to know if it's solid silver or if it's plated. Now, I was assured by my coin dealer this is all silver plated stuff. But what you would look for is a stamping on here. It said sterling or maker's marks. If it was British, that would have a line on it, or other things that indicate it's sterling. Now, if this is a solid piece of silver, it's pretty thick, it's weighty, this would be pretty expensive. It's like a pie server. Kind of neat looking, but everybody back in, in the early 1900s and 1800s, they all had this. Some of the richer people had actually solid silver pieces, silverware, or even like a tea set, coffee, pitcher. But yeah, you look for who makes it. Now I got several pieces to show here. This, I believe, is an egg yolk separator. Man, that's hard to read. I don't know if I can even read that, really. Okay, I think it goes this way. Whoops. Let's see if you can see it. Maybe it does go this way. It's hard to read this one. Real hard. I'll try to read it off the screen. Well, I don't know, but I think that's what this is, an egg yolk separator. If you crack a bunch of eggs, you reach in and pull the egg yolk out. A little bit of fancy carving on this fork. Patent April 1425. W.M. Rogers and Son. Now, as I show off all this stuff, here's a big spoon. This one, patent applied for A.M. Simon X.12. You always look at the marks. If you see 0.925, then it's sterling. And this might be plated with sterling, but there's not very much silver on this. Get a few more. This is like a soup spoon. Patent April 14 of 25. W.M. Rogers and Sons AA. Kind of neat. Again, plated. This one says patent November 29, 1910. It's also William Rogers and Son with a AA. This is a very long and skinny spoon. This one has an initial on it. Looks like OEP to me. Probably a wedding gift or something. It's William Rogers and Son again. I think most of these pieces are William Rogers and Sons pieces. This one's similar to that one, but it doesn't have a tag there. It says silver nickel. So I believe it's just silver plated. It's not very, pretty thin. This one's a little bit similar to that one, but it's not quite the same. 1881 R. Rogers A1. I think the 1881 might refer to when they made this spoon, but everybody back in that time frame had silver plated, at least silver plated. This one says plate. If you can read that. This is bride silver plate. Like a serving fork. Then I got a couple, I think, like cheese forks. This is 1847 Rogers Brothers Remembrance, and has an I and an S. The S might mean silver, or maybe that's one S. But it is 1847 on it. If it was made in 1847, that would make this a pre-Civil War item. Here's another little fork. It says 1881 Rogers, and it also says A1. Thanks, John. And it says Tudor Plate, Oneida Community. Fancy little fork. But all this stuff is pieces of history. Now, as I was researching this a little bit, one thing it said was if a magnet sticks to it, it's pretty well worthless. Well, this knife the magnet sticks to it. So the knife is worthless. Now, all this stuff, all this pieces of history here, those are all the separate types of pieces. I'll show you all of them pieces there. And then this box is duplicates of all those. And quite a few of them too. So I paid a certain price for the whole box of them. And there's like 7 or 8 of these big spoons. I paid not very much money for it. But if you'd like to guess in the comments section, that'd be something I'd like to see. There's actually 8 of these when I include the one on the table here. That's probably the most numerous. There's several more of these knives that the magnet sticks to. The rest of the stuff, the magnet doesn't stick to. I'll just kind of show you. Let's get my camera over here. I'll pick the knife up, but none of the rest of the stuff does it stick to. And that's somewhat important because what I found online said that if magnet sticks to it, it's pretty well worthless. It's not a very big knife anyway. I mean, anyway, that's pieces of history, you know, and it's not really worth a lot, but I know that anytime I find these at a antique type place, if there's just separate pieces, they usually ask $2.50 or $3 a piece for each piece that you buy. And I bought the whole, butter knife. Yeah, I bought the whole box for a certain price. But I mean, I knew it wasn't very valuable because my coin dealer who had it said that it wasn't. Salad fork. Yeah. This, I kind of thought it was some kind of serving fork, but kind of neat. My mom and dad had a set of silverware that came in a wood box. Wood box with felt lining and stuff. I don't know if they still have it. I don't know whether it was sterling or not. Might have been. I have to ask them if they still have it. That's kind of neat, but most of the stuff is William Rogers and Sons stuff. For serving salads, yeah. And then this one's a pie server, I guess, or maybe a cake server. It's Simon and L. and George H. Rogers Company. It's kind of a neat looking piece. I mean, a lot of people's silverware doesn't have very good, the stuff they call silverware today, which is stainless steel usually. A lot of it, the basic ones are real basic. They don't have, some of them you can buy that has this kind of stuff on it. Usually costs a lot more. How many pieces? Well, there were 8 of this. Here, let me show you the box again. That's the box with most of it in there, and then there's more on the table here. I'm guessing 40 to 50 pieces, something like that. So it's a good number. But neat stuff nonetheless. This is A.H. Simon. John, that's a pretty good guess. It's not exactly what I paid for it, but let's just say it's in the ballpark. But if you didn't see this earlier, really like how this toned out nicely. It looks pretty good. It's circulated, of course. And he did have a couple for $10, Benjamin Franklin halves, but I paid a little bit more for this one just because I liked how it looked. And we'll go back to the proof. NGC graded. That's a nice looking coin. Anyway, I don't have a whole heck of a lot more to talk about, but anybody watch this later, if you want to guess in the comments section how much I paid for all that silverware, I'd like to see people's guesses. But I want to thank Bottle Top Bandit and John Jacobs for swinging by while I was doing this. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this down for the night because I got other stuff to do. I wanted to get a live stream up there and show off some of these silverware pieces I got. It's all plated. None of it's actually solid. But you do, if you are going to buy the solid stuff, you need to know what the maker's marks are and what indicates sterling. And then there's also what they call coin silver, which is 90% silver. And they're solid pieces, and so they tend to be kind of expensive these days. But anyway, I'm going to say for everyone to have a good night. We will catch you next time because it's pretty much all I got.